what do you do when a customer says yes to your product, but the delivery is still 6 months away? This week, I'm sharing a one-to-one coaching call with one of my farm marketing school students, a pastured meat producer, and we workshop how to build a customer success path that will keep your buyers warm and excited before they ever get the product. Let's dive in. Hey there, this is Corinna Bench, and welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast. In today's market, it's not enough to just grow your product. You've got to know how to sell it too. Welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast, where we reveal online marketing strategies and tips to help farmers like you get better and more confident at marketing. Learn how to find more customers, increase your sales, and build a strong brand for your farm. Let's start the show. Well, welcome to episode 321 of the My Digital Farmer podcast. I'm your host, Corinna Bench, one of the farmers at Shared Legacy Farms out in Elmore, Ohio. I'm also the founder of mydigitalfarmer.com, which is all about trying to help other farmers like you get more confident in your marketing and sales strategy so that you can grow a profitable business. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to the show. A big shout out to all of my regular listeners. If you're new to the show, I'm really glad you're here today. This is going to be a good one. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and go check out my first 10 episodes, especially if you are new to the marketing lingo, because they were designed to be an on-ramp into the marketing space. Another great place to go and learn the ropes is by getting onto my email list. It's free. Go to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. And I will send you something to your inbox roughly every 4 or 5 days for like 3 months. And it's basically going to walk you through the key principles you need to know. I'm going to point you to some podcast episodes that are really good and foundational. I'll share some links with you, some influencers you should be following, resources, swipe files, examples, templates, actual things you can copy and paste for your own business. Really good stuff. So you can subscribe again by going to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. Today's podcast is sponsored by my friends at Local Line. If managing orders, customers, and inventory feels chaotic this season, it might be time for a better system. Local Line is the all-in-one sales platform built for farms and food hubs. Whether you're selling direct to consumer or managing wholesale buyers or running a CSA. With tools like e-commerce, automated inventory management, subscriptions, barcode scanning, box builder, and POS, Local Line helps you simplify operations and grow your sales. In fact, farmers using Local Line increase their annual sales by 23% and boost their average order size by 9.5%. Switching is easy. No setup fees, no sales commissions, and your onboarding manager will migrate your storefront for free. No joke, so that you can get started without missing a beat. As a podcast listener, you'll also get one premium feature for free for a full year when you use my code MDF2025 at checkout. So head to mydigitalfarmer.com/local line, use that coupon code, and you'll be on your way. Start selling smarter this season with Local Line. And now back to the show. Well, today's going to be a great episode because I'm interviewing one of the members of Farm Marketing School, Breann Detweiler. And she has a farm called Chesapeake Valley Farm, and it's located in northeastern Pennsylvania. They do premium beef, pork, chicken, bulk ordering, on-farm pickup, local delivery. And one of the things that I offer in Farm Marketing School after you've been in there a certain number of months is a free one-to-one bonus call with me for 30 minutes where you can talk about anything you want and we brainstorm together, or sometimes it's just coaching or inspiration. And so Breann reached out and we had one of these one-to-one calls. And the topic that we discussed is what you're going to hear in today's episode. When we got to the end of it, I thought it was so good. I was so energized. I felt like it was helpful and it had unlocked her and given her some very specific things to do. So I reached out to her and I asked her, would it be okay if I shared that recording with my podcast audience? Some of you who are meat producers especially, I think are going to get a lot of practical ideas from this call, because what she wanted to discuss was what is called the excite phase. This is the phase in the customer value journey. Excuse me. After somebody buys, how do you take good care of them? How do you make sure they know how to use your product? How do you get them ready? And how do you basically deliver a success path for them? Now, she's facing a little bit of a dilemma because she has customers who want to buy a side of beef from her, but she often doesn't have the product ready for them for 6 months. And so what do you do with these customers? In some cases, they haven't even put down a down payment. How do you keep them warm? How do you keep them interested and reel them in so that when it's time and you have the product ready, they're ready to go. They're ready to put their money down and they're feeling really excited and confident about the process. So she wanted some help with what is it that I could be doing in this 6-month time period where they're waiting. How could I warm some of them up? How could I make sure they stay with me? What's some of the content we could be sharing and teaching? What are the roadblocks that they're facing? And so this was a very specific conversation around what I call the success path for a customer in that kind of a sales funnel. Now, you might not be a meat producer. That's okay. I still think that listening to this episode will be instructional because you'll hear the principles that are going on. Every now and then we drop a little bombshell of a principle that I think is applicable to any kind of agriculture business. And I want you to look through it, this episode through the lens of your business. Like, what am I learning from Breann's story, and how does this apply to my own version of creating a success path for my customer? What could that look like? What are some of the questions that I could be asking to help me figure out the things that I could be saying to a person either after they've purchased to make sure they keep coming back, or before they purchase to make them want to purchase? Okay, so I think this is a really good conversation, and I hope that you get a lot out of it. I'll jump in at the very end to share my final thoughts. So here we go. Cool. So what are we talking about today? You have about 30 minutes and I'm here to serve.
Thanks. Yeah, I was going to show you. So part of our business, we do like bulk purchasing. So that's like
Mm-hmm.
bulk beef, freezer orders, like a whole half or a quarter.
Yeah.
And I did like the funnel, the ideal journey for the bulk buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just would like some time to brainstorm about it. So a lot of the issue is that, the customer is like super ready to buy and they sign up, and it's typically almost a 6-month wait until they actually receive their quarter beef, half beef, whole. And we don't lose a lot of customers, but we have some that slip through the cracks because I'm not engaging with them through that wait time. Like, they're excited,
Mm-hmm.
they want to do it, they find us, and then it's like, oh well, it's going to take us some time to get that to you. And how we have it, which I mean, ultimately, we'd like to just kind of change how we do it. I'd rather just have like a huge launch period and fill all of the spots. Um, but we have it open year round because we finish all year round, and we don't want to cap it quite yet in our business in how many we can raise a year. So we're usually doing about 50 animals in bulk for bulk beef. So yeah, I guess I can share with you my sales funnel. I was thinking earlier this morning when I was doing chores, like we've lost one customer once because their freezer wasn't ready. And if there was like a challenge where throughout that time frame that they're waiting, that maybe there's like clean out your freezer challenge, like get your freezer
Mm-hmm.
prepped for this. Or a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have a roadblock because they don't know what size freezer they need, and maybe they need some time to prep or get ready for it. So maybe it looks like that I send them in emails throughout the process to keep them engaged and excited and like moving forward with it. Or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just don't know how to keep people excited for that long period of time. I mean, we have a lot of repeat people who are just like, yeah, I always do this like this month. So, but the new customers, which is really building our business, is what I want to keep engaged so that they don't fall off the trail.
Okay. So this conversation, it sounds like you want it to be more about what kind of content or assets, communication can I build once they've already said, I want to do this,
Hmm.
to keep them, to excite the customer. This is more
Yeah.
like the excite phase
So,
a little bit, right? And get them ready so that by the time they get the product, um, they're successful with it. So this is almost like a success path.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Unless there's, I mean, I think there's definitely some holes in the beginning of the path for sure. But at this point, we can't really keep up with the demand that we have. So I'm okay with the holes.
Hmm.
I'm just more concerned about the people who say, yeah, they want it, that when it's time for them to get it, that they actually
Now
100.
they do pay you like a deposit before this, or is part of this you need to keep them warm because you don't collect payment until
Yeah. So I need to keep them warm because we don't collect a down payment. And I've mentioned it to my husband that we should, but I think he's a little bit think the risk behind it if something were to happen to the animals that I don't think we're quite there yet, and he feels enough confident that he would take down payments, which
okay.
is probably just his a roadblock that he feels that he would
Could
doesn't want to do that.
could you, I mean, do you have the capacity if something were to happen to the animal that you could refund the person? Or is
Yeah,
that part of the issue
yeah, I
too?
think so.
Like,
Yeah,
is it a
I'm
cash
sure
flow
we
thing?
could. Yeah, I think it would be better even if we had better cash flow if they had to put a deposit down, but
Hmm.
we have so many repeat people, I would have to redo that whole system, and I can't do that right now in the middle of the summer. So I think it's
Yeah,
something I
okay.
towards for
Even
sure.
if you move towards like, let's not talk about that today, but maybe in the fall or whenever, like you're anybody who comes in new comes into the new system and you could
Yeah,
beta test it. That's a thought
yeah,
too. Just work out the kinks before you roll it out to all these people and then there's something broken about it. You only
yeah,
work on it with a few people. Okay, well, um, congratulations on being the kind of product that you don't have trouble selling it. That's first of all pretty awesome. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, thanks. I mean,
I mean, let's focus on that. There are a lot of people, farmers who just can't even find demand, right? Can't even find people to buy. So, all right. So you want to brainstorm things that you could be doing during the wait period? Is that what you want to use this time for?
yes.
Or did
However,
you want to show me something actually on the screen or?
I will share my screen except, okay, share. The highlighted areas are the things that I would like to improve on. So some of my ideas were, a, another roadblock that they have or something that they have to do and complete is their custom cut sheet. And we
Mhm.
do consultation calls, so they usually will schedule a call with us before they actually call the butcher. And I
Mhm.
will, give them recommendations. I have like a handout, they get all this stuff. Um, but I could be engaging with them about it beforehand.
Yes.
I just don't know how that would look. Maybe some like how-to videos. Like if you were gonna buy beef in bulk, what would you want to know?
Hmm. Um, yeah, so I kind of see this being mostly done through email.
Okay.
And then each email is could link off to a video, right? That lives on YouTube or something for sure. Um, if I were in their shoes, I would want to see an example of a recommended cut. I'd want to see what the cut list even looks like. So even just
Okay.
sending that and explaining to me like, hey, there's this thing called a cut list. This is what we're going to talk through on a call. And I'm sending it to you right now so you can look at it. And a quick, very short video about like what we're going to talk about, how we would fill this out.
Okay.
So, um, that would be the kind of like, I don't want that to be a long video, but just something so that I'm not seeing it for the first time when I'm talking with you. So I have a chance to educate myself about, oh, that this is how it's even organized by the different primal cuts. I don't even like, I actually don't know how they're put together on your list, but if I see a word on the list and I don't recognize it, then I have a chance to look that up before I call with you so I don't look stupid, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even just delivering the cut list, if you want, a little bonus would be to include a video link in that email. It says, here's where I explain, how it's structured and how to fill it out. Maybe in another email, the one after that, you could say, you could even tease it in the PS of the first one. You could say, I'm going to send you a recommended first timer cut list and how I think you
Okay.
should fill it out. Like just take away my decision fatigue and say start here. And then I at least have a baseline and then I can tweak it a little bit. But I know that, oh, most people usually get this much of ground beef because I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. Okay.
I would also want to know, I think it would be helpful to see an actual freezer, like a photo of a freezer with or a giant like Rubbermaid tote that is holding all the stuff so I can visually see how much is 100 pounds or whatever. Like I don't have a good gauge of that initially. And then what I'm gonna do is try to imagine that in my freezer. And I'm gonna go, oh, my freezer's not big enough, right? So just giving them some kind of a picture and then connecting the dots for them and saying, hey, make sure that you have enough room. Here's a common problem that our first time customers have. They don't have enough space in their freezer, and we want to make sure that you do. So
Um,
you might need to get a new freezer, and then you can even like send them off to links. They could be affiliate links even, or you make some money off them if they choose one of those options.
yeah, my one of my biggest lead magnets is actually our freezer storage guide, which I have pictures of all of our meat like on the table, what a quarter is, a half or a whole. But some
I
people
think
don't pick that
I
up
was going to
before
say
they,
they don't always read it, so I would
yeah,
still make it its own
an email.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Re You can repeat content, that's okay.
Okay.
Um, you could also have, I mean, you got up to 6 months. You could be dripping stuff out every couple weeks, right? Just to keep them into it. But like you could be doing individual emails about individual cuts that are going to be in the cut list that are maybe a little bit unusual. So that if you educate them in advance about how cool they are and what you can do with them, they might keep them on the cut list and not just turn it into ground beef. Um, Even the very fact that you can turn just about everything into ground beef was not something I knew.
Okay.
Like that was very freeing to be like, oh, okay, well, I can just, if I don't want a brisket, like I could just go,
Yeah.
or
Good.
sausage, I could sausage pretty much any, like you just that little gem could be its own email. Like, hey, in case you didn't know.
Okay.
And you could kind of give the downside to that. Like, hey, you're getting rid of
I
I really don't want to grind up a T-bone steak, but I could.
okay.
Um, I'm looking at your list here. Yeah, all the
What about
retail
like
cuts.
sending them something in the mail? I thought about that. Like, but that also I would like to do as a gift when they come to purchase, like give them a uh freezers. I want to make a freezer sticker to put on their freezer that has our QO code to rebuy. I'd like that to be a gift, and then
Mhm.
maybe like I don't know, an apron or like increase the gift value as they continue to rebuy is an idea.
Yes. So what about, this is more expensive, but I wonder if you could build it into the price of the product. A freezer thermometer,
Oh, okay.
like or an alarm, I guess, because I've had that happen where I purchased and then I lost the entire freezer.
Okay.
And
Alarm.
I want to say they're like 20 to 30 bucks, but or you could offer it as a upsell where they have to purchase it through you.
Okay.
And maybe you make a little bit of money on it too, but that might even be a tip that you put in there that wouldn't it suck if you bought
Lost it
this,
all.
if you lost it all. And here's what almost everybody does. They have a freezer alarm for this purpose. So maybe not a freezer thermometer, but more like the freezer alarm. That's what I actually meant. Other gifts. So I've had this top conversation before with farmers and um they've talked about what are those called? The mitts?
The oven mitts?
Oven mitts, or just because if they're grilling, or like the pot warmers, like something that they might
Yeah.
use if they were grilling. A cutting board that
Okay.
has the brand on it somehow. I'm just sharing ideas that I've heard from other people. Seasoning packets, so grilling. That's kind of that would be cheap too, I think, for you to give them some barbecue seasoning, or I would be excited to get a seasoned salts or something, and that's only costing you a few bucks in my first package. Um, Maybe like how to marinate, just marinade recipe. I'm just brainstorming marinade recipes, or for chicken, or this is just beef, right?
We did it all, but beef is probably the more.
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, because if you're getting big cuts, some of those are tougher cuts, and you might want to have someone tell you this is how you make those taste really good. And sometimes you have to marinate them. So here's a guide of 3 my go-to recipes for marinating or whatever. Or maybe there's just one go-to recipe. Um, what else? What else does where when you have people ask you questions, what are the questions they're bringing up to you?
One of the biggest one is how to cook a brisket. Someone
Okay.
like drove to the farm after they bought it and were like, I don't know how to cook this. So that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Or they messed up and then they came back and they're like, oh, I did this wrong. What did I do wrong? And I told them. So, like, don't mess it up. This was a high cost cut. This is how you don't mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of people, even just like a lot of people get confused on, okay, so where do I pick up the meat? And do I go to the butcher and pick it up or do I go to the farm? Which I send a
Mm.
very detailed email like when the animal leaves the farm, but I could probably do a better job of prepping them and getting them like all that like nervous jitters, like I never did this and where do I go? And instead of them waiting till like the last minute almost.
Yes, that's good. So
Um,
you're talking about the timing of some of this
yeah, like
information.
dates and timings.
Hmm. Because they're already like 4 months out and they're just wondering, when is she even going to tell me?
Yeah, like which on our end sometimes that's a little hairy and that's kind of why I
Yeah.
waited out, but um
Do you have a point in the process where you show them basically a visual map? Like, I'm about to start barraging you with emails over the next few months, but here is an overview of what happens over the next 5 months. Like, do you have something like that that kind of breaks it down and says, step one, da 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 da, and then so that they see a timeline?
um no.
I'm just wondering if that would be a helpful
That would probably, yeah, I think it should be
visual.
the a visual timeline. I could even do that on our bulk buying page, like our bulk page where they sign up. Visual timeline.
Because then that becomes the first time they see that information. And then when you reiterate it after they purchase, it it's the second time they hear it and it creates more reassurance that you're holding their hand. And then, the week or two before it's actually going to happen, you're there in the inbox saying, okay, now we're coming up on this milestone, just like in the picture.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea, like a visual picture of the process. Like the animal leaves, it goes to the slaughterhouse, it goes to the butcher. Your cut sheet has to get done.
Yeah, where
Then
does the cut sheet
the-
happen by? Yeah, in
yeah,
this
that's a
gap.
great idea. Like a visual timeline of it happening. I can just do that quick in Canva and it'll be look real pretty like.
Yeah. I know there are questions about hanging weight or just how are you, I would want to know like at what point am I going to know roughly how much this is going to
The
cost
cost.
me? And that's all
Yeah.
based on the actual weight of the animal, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So there is enormous confusion around and fear around that the first time you buy, having experienced that, because it's just like this big unknown. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just get myself into? And they don't even know what does that mean, hanging weight versus like what? You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be thousands of dollars. Right. So maybe even helping someone see a typical order from last year.
Um,
Do you do that at some point where you're like, hey, here,
yes.
here was Renee's order last year. It was da 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 da, and we found out at
Yeah.
this point that it was this big or this heavy, whatever the weight, and then this is what she ended up paying.
Yeah. I do that the first time that it's like in the sign up process, it's pretty well laid out. And then their
Okay,
first email they get from me, like, I received your order. Like, this is what, like, I put in the transportation cost, the average weight of the animal, what it would come out. I give like the actual, what it would cost, and then an average amount. So people know like your price point pretty much before they even sign up for it.
okay.
But I could
Um,
also send like in in this a picture of an actual invoice that I invoice someone and like block it out in certain areas so it's not like their name and whatnot to see like the
yeah.
how I like actually.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Farm Marketing School. All right, farmer, let me ask you something. Is marketing your farm something you actually enjoy? Or does it feel like a constant struggle? If you are like most farmers that I talk to, you are wearing all the hats and marketing always seems to slip through the cracks. Can I get an amen? That's exactly why I created Farm Marketing School. It's an online membership designed to help farmers like you build a simple, repeatable marketing system that actually works. Inside, you'll get bite-sized, step-by-step projects that make marketing easier. Each month, you pick what to work on, like writing better sales emails or improving your website copy or setting up your online store, and I walk you through exactly how you should be doing it. And you're not doing this alone. Every month, we have a live Zoom meetup where you can ask me questions, meet other members of Farm Marketing School, get coaching, and hear what's working for other farmers. It's like having a farm marketing mentor in your back pocket. This isn't some long, overwhelming course. The projects are designed to be completed in under 30 days, so you're making steady progress without it taking over your life. So if you're ready to stop winging it and finally build a marketing system that brings in steady sales, come join Farm Marketing School today. Sign up for your first month and see what a difference it makes. Go to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS to get started. And now back to the show. I am typing something into ChatGPT right now to try and, have you tried this yet? To try and get some ideas?
Yes, I have started really using ChatGPT now. I was a
Cool.
little unsure about it at first, but it's been actually really helpful. I haven't used it for ideas as much as I've come up with the idea, but I don't know how to put it into words. So then I put it in and they kind of like help me articulate what I'm trying to achieve, say.
I feel like I could flesh this out a little bit more, but here's a few things that are coming up. How the butchering process works. We kind of worked that out already. Outlined a timeline from harvest to butcher to hanging, aging to packaging, demystify the process.
Right.
Talk about the humane practices and why it takes time. What if I don't want all the organs? Maybe just
Okay.
an email around organs.
Yeah, people get weird about organs. Or they want to make sure they can get their organs and their fat.
Or they want them. Yes, exactly. So customizing cuts, liver, kidney options, bones, packaging, invite more questions via reply. I like that actually, to make sure you're asking them to share their questions with you, because that will help you make that nurture sequence better and better over time. Will it all fit? How to prep your freezer. Include a printable checklist or freezer inventory sheet, and recommend a good chest freezer model.
Checklist. How to keep your freezer organized.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Or that they will need to.
Yeah.
Because as things come out too, you begin to lose track
Yeah.
of what you still have left, and all you see is white butcher paper.
Yeah.
And they may even want to write some additional things on the packaging. I don't know. Are they usually, I mean, I know that we specify how many pieces we want per package, but is that something that everyone does?
Yeah, that's like if you want 1 pound pack or 2 pound packs of
Yeah, okay.
hamburger,
Okay.
ground beef. Yeah, so there's some specs in that.
Okay.
I could give them a layout of like your family size. If your family size is 6 people, we recommend getting a pack of like your pack size.
Okay.
Or
I'm just continuing to read through stuff here. Let's talk pricing. It says break down the cost per pound versus the grocery store.
mm,
Emphasize premium quality plus ethical sourcing, and remind them they've already locked in their price. What you could do, since some people haven't actually put a down payment down, you could say, if this is true, you could say, I lock in your price once you give me your down payment. Just a thought, unless you're not comfortable making that promise. Okay. Meet your farmer, mini interview or video. Why we started raising grass-fed beef. Include a photo or a short video. Reinforce their purchase supports a real family farm.
yeah.
Our cows' diet, what our cows eat and what they don't. That's a suggestion here. Talk about pasture rotation, mineral supplements, no antibiotics or hormones, reassure quality and ethics. How to cook grass-fed beef. Your grass-fed beef will taste better. Here's how to cook it right. Offer a beginner's guide to cooking lean beef. Include 2 to 3 favorite recipes. And what if I don't like every cut? Address meal planning, how to use unfamiliar cuts. Maybe mention a cut swap if you offer one. Recommend a slow cooker or instant pot if they don't have one yet. And then prep them for the butcher call. You'll get a call
Yeah.
soon. Here's what to say. Offer a script, a cheat sheet, or a downloadable cut sheet with explanations. And then the last one was, it's almost beef day. Provide pickup or delivery instructions. Remind them what to bring, how to pack and store. Encourage a freezer clearing day and invite them to share a photo when they unpack. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely do better after like they've taken it home, unpacked it. Um,
What about
a
like
lot of people
a video unboxing, sort of like a unboxing video, sorry, where you're,
unboxing here.
does that make sense? Like I just picked it up. Here's what it is. And if they want, they can watch the whole thing. That would be great on your YouTube channel, because it becomes like an evergreen piece of content that people could watch and see exactly what they're getting. Well, mostly like, oh, that's what a brisket cut looks like, or that's what a what the soup, the soup bones are coming packaged like that. I know it'll basically look like a bunch of freezer butcher paper going across the screen, but I still think it's helpful because it helps them see like I don't know
Volume.
how many packages there are of that and what the sizing is like, oh, is it a long package or more like I just think it's helpful. Yeah, okay, so that's all that chat came up with on the first round, but I could probably pull some more out. But all I did when I talked to chat was I said, um, I want to come up with content. I'm a farmer who sells bulk beef. I want to come up with content I can drip out to my customers while they are waiting for the cow to go to the butcher. My goal is to speak to first-time buyers who have a lot of questions about the process. I don't want them to lose interest or change their mind. What are some things I could be emailing them every few weeks over this 6-month time period? And then it just gave me all that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, right? And it even gives you email, like you could then say, write me the emails. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
even
think that makes
kidding. Like it will write the emails for you. Yeah. Write me the email for email number 1, and then you just tweak it so it sounds more like you. It's a huge time saver. That's a lot. I feel like that's already, you easily have enough to do every 2 weeks that you could send them something. Remember when you're writing emails, it's okay. Ideally, it should just be about one thing. You can splinter something off of a larger concept and just talk about that one thing in the email and then tease like part 2 is coming, in the next email. Make sure you open it. Um, they're more likely to read something that isn't really, really, really long.
okay, yeah, short and sweet for these, I think.
Yeah. And if you want to build these videos, you could build them over on your YouTube channel in a playlist, set them up as
Mhm.
a playlist so somebody could stumble upon them that way and binge through the content. Make sure you're putting links in those videos for how to get on your email list or how to sign up for this product should they now be ready to buy. Um, and then you can redirect people to those videos in your emails. So you could take a screenshot of the video itself, put that as the graphic, right? And then link the graphic. So if they click on the graphic, it takes them right to the YouTube video to watch it. What about a testimonial video
Mm. We have a ton of
or
people
email? Yeah.
test, you know.
So one of the emails is like, here's what some of our customers have said.
We have a ton of people when they come and pick up their beef and they like put it in their truck, they always take like a selfie with it. I
Yeah.
could just do like even a testimonial email that has like all of those pictures in it because a lot of people will send them to me and then we give them like a sticker and they always put it in their like in their truck bed. It's like this whole. So yeah, I could definitely do that. Just, you know,
Yeah. And I wonder too if you could even, it sounds like they're sending the picture to you already, but if you turned it into a contest, I've seen
content.
this done when I went to a zip line and Hocking Hills zip line or whatever, and they asked us to take a picture and then post, like tag them somehow that day or that week. And then they chose one person out of whoever had done this every week, and they got a prize, or it could be every month, it could be whatever. But that might be a way to encourage people to
Do it.
make sure that they post it, not just send it to you, but post it because now they're helping you promote. Yeah, that would definitely be something they would want to do a selfie for.
This is good.
Yeah. You got my mind spinning. I'm like, oh, there's got to be more, but I feel like that's a really good start. And I would encourage you to use ChatGPT to just get the draft written so that you don't make that be your like, oh, it's going to take a long time to write 12 emails. Just put them out there, the ChatGPT versions, and then start maybe once a week. You're going in and you're personalizing it. You're making each one at a time a little bit better that's more in your voice, but at least then you have something that's working for you now. And the perfect version can come to pass slowly over time. You may discover that ChatGPT's version is just fine and does the job, and you don't have to make a whole lot of work for yourself. Do you plan on emailing them after they get the product too? Or is this
Yeah, that's what
just okay?
I, yeah, because a lot of them, like, they're picking it up and they're saying, okay, yeah, I'm putting back on the list. Like, we want this again. And then that piece of information gets put on an invoice that gets like thrown over. Then he tells, yes, yes.
Okay.
Because the way for when people are like, yeah, or some assume that because they got it once, it just keeps happening. Like, oh, I got this. Like, they don't understand that they have to re-sign up or re-engage with us in
Oh.
a way. So that is where I'm definitely dropping the ball too, that there's no like, how did your first date go? Like, how is it? Like, did everything go well? Did the butcher mess up at all? Because sometimes like they will mess up and forget things. And I
Mm.
always keep like a backstash if I need to, give give some give some things away because of some issues. So yeah, I could definitely send like a week after they pick it up, like, how's your first take? How's it going? Did you have any issues?
Ask
And
for a picture. Yeah.
picture,
Continue
and
to.
would you like to do this again with us? If so,
Yeah.
click this button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you don't be afraid to ask that question again a month later or 2 months later.
yeah,
You almost would benefit from some kind of a time trigger within your email provider, or maybe it's however you set up your system so that from the time the person you fulfill on the order and they pick it up, the t timer starts ticking. And you know that in 6 weeks from now, you're going to automatically send out an email based on that day that invites them to sign up again. Or maybe it's 3 months out. I don't know. But you'll want to issue that ask several times because the first time they might just ignore it because they're like, I've still got a ton of beef in my freezer. Am I
yeah.
even thinking about this? But when is the
When is
typical
it?
time that a person
Yeah,
starts to run out where they're starting to think about it? You need to kind of know when that is. And
yeah.
that's probably the ideal time to send that email and maybe send like 2 or 3 in a row over the course of that month so that they know this is it. I'm available. I'm open. You may also benefit from tossing in an email, I don't know, at like month 3 or 4, where he's sort of tongue in cheek kind of say like, what's still in your freezer? Like, do you have
Yeah,
I bet I know which cuts are still in there. And you
yeah.
offer some support for how to get rid of that weird thing that, I don't know, that you get a lot of and that the first time around and you realize you have to slow cook it and you just didn't. Yeah, you still have a lot of it.
The quicker they get rid of it, the quicker they need it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because we don't want them thinking, oh, I never used half the stuff I never
Yeah,
even used. And then
yeah.
they're going to be like, I don't want to do this again. So you want to help support them probably even more after they get the animal in their freezer so that they quickly start eating it.
Using it. Yes.
And that's probably where you're spending more time doing the recipes of the education for how to cook it. I mean, I think you can have 1 or 2 emails before just to kind of get them excited. But and like the first time that when they go home and pull that first cut out of the freezer, what is the thing that they're eating first?
If it was me and I just spent all that money, I would eat a steak, but
Yeah,
I
I
I
would
honestly
agree.
don't know. I don't
Can
know if they're, and sometimes that's what it is, or sometimes it's a family and they're like, okay, thank you. We have like ground beef, like I'm gonna make
It might
taco.
be ground beef. Yeah, I'm
Like
just gonna have
finally I can just make a quick meal with some good stuff and feed all
yeah.
my children. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely eat a steak, but
That might be a fun like engagement email to send out after the first week to just ask Like, what did you make? What was the very first thing? I'm taking a poll. What was the very first thing that you ate? Um, or that you plan to eat? What's the first cut? Just so that you learn that, and that might actually help inform, I don't know, you could build some content around that in some way, I think, eventually. If you know what are the first, what are people just crazy about and they can't wait, the first thing they're going to eat is this. Do you do any kind of value added stuff like sausage?
So depends which butcher they get. So
Okay.
which also kind of jumbles this whole system because our current guy just can't do all of our animals. So we have like three guys that are doing all
Okay.
of it now. So some have like the option of hot dogs and kibasi and other things and then they vac seal and then another guy doesn't do that stuff, but everyone across the board does like pre-made hamburger patties and chip steak. Those are like that's like you definitely
Okay.
so I can, tell people, hey, if you're not gonna eat a London broil, like chip it and make chip steak because it's a quick, easy meal and the London broil is harder to make and chip steak sandwiches are great. So that would be like a quick tip. And pre-made hamburger patties are quick and easy, especially in the summertime. Like
Mm-hmm.
people usually will make almost half their ground beef in that occasionally. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
even that tip right there is super helpful for a first time buyer.
the chip steak tip
No, well, that one too, but even to know most people make half their animal ground beef. Like, oh,
into
really?
hamburger
Yeah.
patties.
Yeah. I would not have guessed that. So it's almost
Some
like
will do it, yeah.
it's almost like you're telling them the dosage on the
Yeah,
medicine, right? It's like you're going to take this much per day in hamburger sauce, whatever, hamburger patties. And you're like, "Oh, I am. Okay." Sometimes just by, recommending what most people do, you almost like coach your future buyer to become that as well. So just be thinking that's a powerful sentence, and maybe you can make some more powerful recommendations like that too that would cause the behavior to happen. So what behavior do you want?
I want them. I do coach them on getting bone in. I coach a lot of them. They want everything boned out. And I said, you're
Mm,
paying for the bone. There's loss when you trim it, like keep
mm-hmm,
it bone in. And a lot of people are like, oh, I never even thought about that. And I'm like, yes,
mm,
like this is how you maximize your cuts. Like do that.
yeah. And you're talking
So
about things like bone broth, right? At some
no, like
point.
steaks, like T-bone porterhouse,
Oh, okay.
they want bone out. They want strip steaks boneless.
Oh, I
Want
gotcha.
everything they want instead of rib steaks, they want rib eyes. And I mean, the only difference is that the bone is out, which some
Yeah.
people are picky about, but the trimming of it is taking out of your pocket essentially. So I
Yeah.
try to tell them like if you're buying in bulk, get as much as you can bone in
Yeah.
to get more out of the your purchase. So I could really do an email on that, like how to maximize.
That's a whole email right there. I bet you have some other little gems like that that you don't
Yeah,
you
I
don't
could.
know would be so helpful to a person like me who doesn't have a
Yeah, that.
clue. So try to figure out what are those things that when I say them, people are like, mic drop, what?
Yeah.
Each one of those is its own email. And you don't have to get this all perfect the first time. Just build something and then you'll continue to add things to this email nurture over the next few years. I'm constantly doing that. All right. We got
Okay.
to wrap this up. I feel like this is really good though.
Yeah.
When are you going to have this done by? What was your goal? This
It's gonna
part,
be
this part.
July 1st. I was gonna give myself a month.
Yeah, I think that's realistic. I'm going to touch base with you on July 1st, maybe 2nd, and I'm going to ask how far you
Or
got.
after the 4th of July, actually.
All right, we'll say July 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making a note, put it on my calendar. And That's going to give some accountability. I really want you to at least throw it into ChatGPT. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll send the link to this recording.
Okay.
And you can go back and see, like, listen to what I typed in again. If you want to type in the exact same thing that I said I typed in, and then just see what it spits out, and then use that. Because sometimes that's what I'll do. I'll be like, okay, I'll focus on the answer for email number 1, and I'll kind of then respond to the AI bot and say, let's work on this section now. Write me this email. And then we just slowly move through it. And then you just copy and paste it over into your email provider. That could seriously be done, Breann. And like, you could do this whole thing in under 2 hours if you use ChatGPT.
I feel like the writing of the emails isn't what scares me. It's MailChimp and making the automations that scares me the most.
Oh, gotcha.
Like the tech stuff, like telling MailChimp to do what I want it to do and not like messing up the path.
Yes.
That's the hard, like that's what I always struggle with. Because I don't know MailChimp like I should.
Yeah. Well, this will make you learn
But
it.
this will make me learn it. That's why I'm giving myself a good bit to learn it. Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, good luck.
Okay.
Let
Thank
me
you.
know how it goes. You're welcome. Have a good
Have a
one.
good
See you
day.
later. Bye
Yep.
bye.
See ya.
Well, thank you so much, Breann, if you're listening, for letting me take this behind the scenes moment and make it public for thousands of people to listen to. I think there was a lot of wisdom shared in that conversation, and I could tell that you walked away with a to-do list, and that's always really empowering. Today's show notes can be found at mydigitalfarmer.com/321, and I will make sure that I link up Chesapeake Valley Farm's website there in case you want to go learn more about Breann. If you liked today's episode, please go leave me a rating or a review, or I encourage you to check out Farm Marketing School so that you can see what all the fuss is about by going to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS. Remember, if you want to get onto my email list, I have some free stuff to send your way to make your marketing even stronger. You can go to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. I'm also on Instagram at mydigitalfarmer. And if you are interested in getting onto the show, or you know someone who would be a great podcast guest because they have some wisdom to share in the area of marketing, please reach out to me. I'm always looking for great guests. You can email me at mydigitalfarmers@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you and we can see if we're a match. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Have an amazing week. Remember, I believe in you.